right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, Tonio Burton has officially confirmed we will be seeing him compete next weekend in the Dubai Pro. Now, I think this is going to be a very good lineup for Tonio to do. We just saw him win the Legion Sports Festival. Let's be honest, it was an okay lineup, but it wasn't super deep. It wasn't, I would say it wasn't a great lineup. When it comes to the ability to really challenge Tonio, I feel like Tonio kind of stood way above the rest. I mean, he's a top 10 Olympian, and he brought a significantly improved version of his physique. He clearly had added some size. He brought the same, trademark conditioning. I think it was a relatively easy win for him, and I think it'll be good to see him in a lineup like Dubai, where you've got some bigger names, some more established veterans, and I think a little bit more of a challenge for Tonio, and potentially, unfortunately, guys that we might not get to see him face at the Olympia this year. Nathan Asha will be there. Again, we don't really know if he's going to be able to compete at the Olympia and travel to the States. He's had a lot of trouble with it the past few years. If he qualifies, we might not see him there. Beirut Tabani, we just talked about a couple of videos ago. This new travel ban is probably going to impact Beirut. It's probably going to make it even harder for him to get his visa, which he hasn't been able to get for the past several years. Neckzilla might not even qualify for the Olympia, so we might not get the opportunity to see him against Tonio Burton. I still don't think we know for sure if William Bonac is doing the show or not. He hasn't actually directly confirmed it. I actually was able to talk to Martin and confirm that he is not doing the Dubai Pro. He said the rumors that are out there are not true. He has no idea where they came from, but he's not doing Dubai, so Martin will not be in this lineup. He said his sole focus at this point is just prepping for the Olympia. But again, I do think this will be a really good lineup for Tonio, in a really challenging lineup for him to win. And I really like the comparison. I've been seeing it more and more. The comparison of the type of physique that Tonio has to like a Dexter Jackson physique. I really like that comparison. I think it's really apt because Tonio is just very complete. He's got, he's never going to be the biggest guy on stage. He comes from 212. He's a little bit shorter, but he's got these really round 3D muscle bellies. He comes in really good shape. He's very complete. He's very balanced. And his physique does kind of resemble like a prime Dexter Jackson. And I'm curious to see how this new version of his physique does against elite level guys, against Olympia caliber guys, because like I said, he was clearly improved for the Legion, 15 pounds heavier, I believe, than the last time we saw him on stage. And like I said, I think that was kind of an easy win for him. So I want to see how he does when he's actually challenged a little bit by some of these guys like Beirut, Nathan, Neckzilla. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. He is already qualified for the Olympia after winning Legion. Do you think he'll be back in the top 10 at the Olympia this year? And do you think he can even improve upon his most recent Olympia placing of 8th? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, speaking of Dubai, this is the latest update from Nathan Asha. And it looks, based on this update, like Nathan is really bringing it to this show. His quads are just insanely separated, a lot of detail. He looks very full at this point. He had a little bit of a Christmas tree going on in his lower back and the back poses. When he hit the abs and thighs in this update, his abs were really separated. This looks to be a very good version of Nathan's physique. And again, this is kind of the thing that I really enjoy about the Dubai show. It's kind of turning out to be this show where we get to see these guys that we otherwise might not get to see at the bigger shows throughout the year. The Arnold and the Olympia, the two biggest shows, and then now the Pittsburgh Pro. You've got all these massive shows that have, the bigger prize money in bodybuilding. They're all really based here in the U.S. So if you can't get to the U.S., there's still like a certain group of elite level bodybuilders that aren't going to be able to do those shows. And Nathan is one of those guys. Beirut is one of those guys. So the fact that we get this Dubai show where they get the opportunity to win $140,000 in prize money, and that seems to draw these guys to Dubai, I think this is shaping up to be a really good annual show for the guys that maybe it's harder for or unlikely for them to get to the States to do a show throughout the year. And I think what makes it interesting, with especially Tonio jumping in this lineup, is Nathan is not qualified for the Olympia yet. Beirut is not qualified for the Olympia yet. Neckzilla obviously is not qualified for the Olympia yet. Tonio Burton is. So if he does manage to come in and win this show, he would be taking away all of those guys' shot at a qualification for the Olympia. I'm sure we'll probably see Nathan and Beirut continue to compete where they can and try to get the qualification elsewhere if they don't win Dubai. But that's kind of what makes this lineup interesting to me, is Tonio being already qualified, going in against, really the best guys in this lineup are not yet qualified. So not only is there a good amount of prize money involved here, but the stakes are pretty high here too for everybody that's likely going to be in that first call-out. All right, now next up in the news, I want to talk about the competitor list for this weekend's Empro Classic in Spain. And this is kind of interesting. This is, I think if you're a Sas Harati fan, another really cool moment. So let's go over this list here. A lot of names that I'm not super familiar with, and I'm sure maybe you guys aren't as well. A lot of guys from overseas in this one. Starting with Giolo Albi, Alexander Bodanov, Kasozi Brian Drago, Steph Brugink, Angel Calderone Frias coming back to open bodybuilding for this one, Dennis Friedrich, Sas Harati, Antoine Loth, Justin Musial, Claudio Sergio, and Kamal Topaloglu. Okay, so I think the cool thing here is that Sas is competing for the 6th time in 2025. He just won his Olympia qualification. Obviously, this was one of the bigger stories of the week this past weekend at the Toronto Pro, but apparently is going to continue to compete going into this Spain show. So I think had Sas not won the Toronto, this was like maybe his backup plan. And I think looking at this lineup, he's probably going to win this one too. I mean, a lot of these names I haven't even heard before, so I would say that Sas is by far the favorite going into this one, which is cool that he's still doing it. I just have a tremendous amount of respect for the guys that are like Sas that compete multiple times per year, not just once at the Olympia or once to qualify for the Olympia and then the Olympia. I like guys that are like legitimate professional bodybuilders, and they are competing to make their living. I mean, between these 6 shows, I'd say Sas has probably made a pretty good annual salary amount from the 6 shows that he's done, well, 6 including this one. Just from the prize money of those shows, I'm sure he's had a pretty nice payday from that. And I would say looking at this list, it's probably going to be who would challenge Sas the most. Probably going to be between him and Angel. I mean, Angel has won an open bodybuilding show before. He's qualified for both the Open and 212 Olympias before. And this is the latest physique update from Angel. He's a guy that he brings really good conditioning. He's just a little bit more short, compact. Yeah, I think this is going to be another Sas victory here. But I think it's even sweeter for Sas going into this show, having just beaten Regan Grimes, instead of the reverse scenario, where if this were like Sas's backup to qualify for the Olympia, coming into this off a loss to Regan, I think it makes it even cooler. It doesn't really matter if he wins this or not, even though I think he likely will. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this lineup. This was just posted actually just a couple minutes ago. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Now, next up in the news, we got a new physique update from Goodvito. But the interesting part of this update was the caption. According to the caption, he's still going to be competing in the 2025 Mr. Olympia, which he qualified for by winning the Arnold Classic South America. I think one of the bigger stories this year was the fact that he had to pull out of the Pittsburgh Pro due to an injury to his lat. And I think that kind of left a question mark with whether or not he was going to be still participating in the Olympia, because I don't think we really knew the full severity of that injury. Obviously, it was severe enough to make him miss the Pittsburgh show. But would it be something that required surgery and like extensive recovery time? But it looks like not, according to this caption on this post, because he is going to still be competing at the Olympia. And of course, he looks insanely freaky in this update. But he says there is no limit to perfection. Let's make it even better. Olympia 2025, determined to win. So confirming he is still going to do the Olympia. And I guess whatever happened to his lat was just something maybe relatively minor, but major enough to impact him competing in Pittsburgh. But I certainly think that's good to see that he's still going to be in the Olympia, because he's one of the guys that I've been most excited to see his Olympia debut specifically, especially considering the fact that he missed Pittsburgh, because that was going to be our first glimpse, our first opportunity to see him next to really high-level guys, Nick and Martin and Derek, and we didn't get to see that So the Olympia will be the first time we get to see him. I mean, not only will it be his Olympia debut, but it's going to be the first time that we get to see him next to real high-level guys and see how he actually stacks up against the best in the world. And the final story I've got for you guys today, just for fun, I wanted to include this recent physique update of Kevin Levrone, who is 60 years old. He's going to be 61 in July, actually. But I haven't talked about Kevin Levrone in a video in probably years now. But I saw him post this physique update. It popped up on my feed today, and he looks really impressive still for 60, almost 61 years old. And of course, it caught my attention because he had a Creed song playing along with this post. But you know, maybe this is some kind of this could fuel some speculation for maybe a Masters comeback for Kevin Levrone. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.